On April 5th or 6th, depending on where you live, the moon will be full in Libra, the flirty sign of beauty, balance, and relationships. It's so fitting that this moon is labeled the pink moon, as it's the first full moon of spring and all of nature is either budding or being born from its dormant season. With that being said, as winter is normally a season where we should be resting, planning, and working on our inner selves, this is a good time to evaluate your relationship with the world around you and to assess how you can bring balance into your life for greater well-being and supporting your goals. What is super cool about this time right now is that we have a full moon in Libra opposite the sun in Aries, in between two new moons in Aries. So this is definitely calling us to take initiative on our lives. And before we go crazy with our ideas, take a moment to clear out what's not working and to see what may be harming our ability for a better connection and growth. So hello friends, and welcome to the Tiny Well, where I quench your thirst for greater knowledge and I take you on a journey to finding your best self. My name is Tia, and I am so excited to share with you the transits of this full moon and give you some tips that can help you on your way to your inner healing. A little disclaimer, I do want to apologize for the lighting in this video and possibly the sound, as I filmed the bulk of it during the middle of the night and I didn't want to wake my household. I was also exhausted, but anywho. If you are interested in astrology, holistic wellness, or esoteric knowledge, then subscribe to my channel so that we can stay connected and we can all sip from the well that is our collective consciousness. So the first couple of transits that I want to talk about is the moon in Libra in opposition with the sun, Jupiter, and Chiron in Aries. The moon is our inner unconscious world, how we look for security in our life, and our emotional needs. Libra is an air sign rooted in bringing harmony to all places, which is why it's a very diplomatic sign that can help us mend partnerships. The sun is our conscious ego and our self-expression, and is exalted in Aries, the fire sign of independence and drive. These opposing energies can often be confusing for a person, as they just aren't really sure which way to flow. But a better way to deal with oppositions is to compromise with both of these energies and see how you can integrate both of the lessons within your life. So what we're dealing with this transit is the self versus the collective, independence versus interdependence, and this fire passion versus air intellect. And so something to be mindful of is how you can stay true to yourself while also working with others. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and optimism. And so with this challenging aspect, we may find ourselves self-doubting and not able to govern ourselves, as our discernment may be affected. We may not be able to properly evaluate situations or people. And so if we're not careful, this could lead us down some pretty dark paths. Chiron is our wounded healer and is guiding us on how we can work through our deepest traumas and overcome them on the path to who we really are. And so this transit is really shining a light on traumas that we may have been dealt in with relationships, or how we may have bonded over trauma with other people. But the full moon is calling us to release the toxic energy in those areas and to open ourselves up to healing. So next we have the moon in conjunct Taurus and Saturn in Pisces. Mercury is the planet of communication and intellect. And so with this transit, you may be reading into things deeply that aren't necessarily true. However, with judgment and self-awareness, you could turn awkward or misread situations into positive ones. Saturn is the planet of discipline and limits, and the moon also governs our past and mother energy, but more so how we were nurtured. And so this transit could have us feeling very nostalgic. But the thing about memories is that they may not have actually happened the way that we thought that they were. And so taking accountability for your own actions in life can help you be more productive and knowledgeable in your own habits. This can help you be more aware and find yourself in the process. And then we have the moon squaring Mars in Cancer. Mars is the planet of energy and desires, and so this transit could have us feeling self centered as we are pushing for our own inner desires, but not necessarily thinking how it may help others. Our emotional needs may be clashing with our action, which could lead us to being confused or frustrated or being overly forceful. However, this energy could help us grow and advance in life as long as we are keeping our egos in check and connecting with others. And then we have a moon in a lovely trine with Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto is the planet of power and transformation. And so, although we have a lot of negative aspects with the moon, Pluto is really championing for us here, bringing us success when we decide to overcome our challenges, bringing inner security and confidence. We can use our creative will to manifest and transform our life for a future we desire. So, because this moon is all about balance, I really want to talk about the sun's transits here. So, as we kind of talked about before, we have the sun conjunct Jupiter and Chiron in Aries. So, although we have the moon opposite Jupiter, throwing our inner world through the loop, we also have the sun working with Jupiter to look beyond our emotions and to believe in ourselves and to have more faith in our abilities, which can lead to great opportunities. And we can also use the driving sign of Aries to motivate us towards our inner healing and for us to take initiative into saying what does and doesn't work for us. And then we can use the energy of the full moon to release those things and bring balance into our life. And finally, I want to talk about Mercury's transits because there are a lot of shifting things going on in our world right now, and we need to be able to use our minds to learn how we can navigate and handle what may come next. And so we have Mercury and Taurus sextiling with Mars in Cancer as well as Saturn in Pisces. Here we have our mind harmonizing with our drive, and so we are able to articulate our values as well as nurture them when we put them into action. And so, integrating with the full moon in Libra, when we work with others, we can find that our communication is supported. With this transit, you'll have more practical insight and you'll be able to turn your ideas into success when you have a more productive side of habits. You'll be more reliable as a keen learner and be able to use your imagination to think outside of the box. With these two transits, it's really important to be mindful of trying to work with too many ideas at one time. But on the flip side of that, if something has a hard solution, don't be stubborn in trying to figure it out. Ask someone to work on it with you, or maybe just take a break and come back at it with fresh eyes. And lastly, we have Mercury square Pluto in Aquarius. This transit may make your communication style very harsh and blunt, and you may mean well, but your lack of sensitivity or trying to manipulate people to bend towards your will doesn't support the collective. So rethink trying to do those things. All right, y'all. So this is the advice that I would like to leave you guys with. Use this time to evaluate your interconnected relationships and release toxic traits. Try to work on avoiding trauma because as you embrace endings, this will only lead you to greener pastures and new opportunities. Don't rely too much on others. This is the time to step up and to have faith in your own abilities. Aries drives us forward, but Libra calls for intelligent rationality. And so try not to act on pure desire, but rather conscious awareness. There's company in misery, but there's also growth beyond your wound. And as you grow and heal, you'll be able to find your true tribe and enlightenment. And if you are feeling lost, it is totally okay to call on your circle, because the huge thing about the way that we connect with each other is not just about survival or companionship, it's also about expanding our consciousness and reaching our full potential, because everybody plays a part in this life. If I do something and you do something differently, both of our talents will come together and we can make a better community in the end. And one of the fresh things about this pink moon is that it is bringing up seeds that you have planted. And so don't forget to water your plants, aka your habits, because the more that you work on yourself, you'll just become a stronger person in the end, and you will bloom into the person you have always been meant to be. If you enjoyed this video, like and leave a comment down below on some goals or habits that you may be working on this year. I'd also appreciate a subscribe, as I love talking about all things mystical and healing, and growing my channel just allows me to continue making content like this and build a community. On April 20th, we have a new moon solar eclipse in, again, Aries. And so I'm really looking forward to sharing with you all the upcoming transits of the eclipse season. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Tiny Well. And if you made it this far to the end of the video, comment down below some full moon or spring flower emojis. And I also really love emoji stories. So let me know what y'all got going on. I'm wishing you all well on your journeys. Peace.